What if there was a simple way for you to actually get more done in less time with more focus and more efficiency just by simply hacking your brain and using it the way that it was meant to be? Now that's what we're going to talk about in today's Psychology Fitness Lab episode of how you can actually use the programming of your brain that's been going on for thousands of years to get more done in less time. What's up, team, and welcome to another Psychology Fitness Lab episode with your host, David Mykel. Today, team, I want to go over something that I know we can all benefit from, which is getting more done in less time. Wow, wouldn't it be great to get more done in less time and have more time to do more things, or the things that you really want to do, or maybe more time to sleep? I know this is something that I've been struggling with for a while, is time efficiency and effectiveness, which is something that I'm always trying to learn more from some of the biggest and greatest experts out there. And I want to share a couple of tips with you today about how to do that, team. We're going to teach you today how to work in what we call time boxing. And we're going to teach you how to work in ultradian rhythms, and then give you some movements that you can do in order to boost that focus and kind of boost those neurotransmitters so you can get to that next level and get more done. One of the things that I know a lot of my clients and myself would love are more hours in the day. Yes, can I get 26, maybe 27 hours? How great would that be? 2 to 3 extra hours of productivity, of play, of sleep, something like that. But the bottom line is that it doesn't work like that. We all get 24 hours and that's all we get. So we gotta make the most of those 24 hours. So we're gonna talk about how to do that today. And our first tactic we're gonna talk about today, team, is called time boxing. Time boxing. So what this means is that you are gonna actually schedule time in your calendar in blocks of either 30 minutes, 60 minutes, or 90 minutes, and you're gonna work on something specific and only that. It means nothing else, team. You're not gonna work, you're not entertaining phone calls, you're not bringing in emails, you're not talking to other people at your desk or anything like that. You are sitting there, you're going deep, and you're going into one subject and one subject only, one task, one project, one whatever it is. Why is this important? Because when our brains are not meant to multitask. Multitask is bullshit, complete bullshit. We talked about this in another Psychology Fitness Lab episode, but our brains are not set up to multitask. People are like, oh, but you know, I can walk and chew gum and talk at the same time. Yeah, that's called your basal ganglia. It's automatic processes. You are not actually multitasking at that point. Your brain's on an automatic process. You can't do higher learning things that you are being paid well for at work with your prefrontal cortex if you are simply trying to multitask. And how do I know this? There's this thing called transition time. And that's the time that it takes your brain to refocus from the one thing that was just doing back to the other thing that it wants to do, or the thing that you're doing before, and then back to the thing that you're supposed to be doing. How do I know this? We've actually tested this. I worked for one of the leading neuroscience guys in New York City for a while, and what we did is we actually tested this at one of his law firm clients. You know, one of the top 100 law firms, and this law firm had a policy that if their phone ever rang, they needed to pick it up. Ring, always pick it up, always pick it up, always pick it up, no matter what's going on. So we were sitting there with one of his clients, and this is a partner at this big firm, and he's typing away on this brief, putting this brief together, and then of course the phone rings. Ring, picks up the phone, has to, addresses what's going on in the call. So it's about maybe like 10 to 15 minutes. Hangs the phone back up, comes back in the brief, and now he's got to kind of go back into the brief to see where he was, to see where his flow was, what he was talking about, kind of get back in the flow of things. So we asked him, as attorneys, they bill by the quarter hour. Who does that quarter hour go to? It took him about 10 to 15 minutes to get back into that flow for the brief. And he says, well, it goes to the client that I'm working the brief for. But I asked, like, how is that fair? Because you got broken up by the phone call that from another client to get distracted and now have to come back into the brief you're working on before. But that 15 minutes now, you wouldn't have used that, or you wouldn't have wasted it if you stayed in the brief the whole time. And you didn't really have a good answer. Well, that's what called transition time is. So your brain needs to literally transition from one high level, high concentration learning thing to another. So what we try to do to overcome that, our multitasking habits, is we just simply say, Nothing else is going on. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna work on this one thing and one thing only for time boxing. And so you segment out these like 30, 60, or 90-minute increments in order for you to work on nothing and nothing else but that one thing. Now, during this time, team, you should be silencing the alerts on your phone and on your computer. Why? You're going to get distracted. If your phone's dinging off or little pop-up things coming on Outlook, letting you know you got a new email, you're going to be tempted to try to go over there, and that's transition time. It may not be the full transition time that we talked about, the 15 to 20 minutes, but you're still going to have a minute or two that you lose right there to get back in the flow, and you don't want to lose that flow. The second thing I want to tell you about, team, is ultradian rhythms. So what is an ultradian rhythm? Ultradian rhythm is similar to a circadian rhythm, which we know about how our sleep cycles go up and down, and REM cycles based on the sun. Our ultradian rhythms work in the same way. Our focus goes up and down depending on how much time we're giving it to. So you simply cannot, don't care who you are, who's listening to this right now, your brain cannot maintain a high level of focus for more than 90 minutes at a time. That's it. That's science. You may be 1% of these people, and trust me, you're not that 1% if you think you are, that thinks you can get away with it, but you can't. Your brain doesn't work like that. You simply can't sit down for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, even though I have people that do this in my life, and think you're still getting the same concentration that you would do if you were recognizing these ultradian rhythms. It doesn't work like that. For all of us, it either works in a 30-minute, a 60-minute, or a 90-minute block, and it depends on where you are. I'm more on the 30-minute side when it comes to ultradian rhythm. My brain can maintain high levels of focus for 30 minutes at a time. So how do we work within these ultradian rhythms to get the most out of our day and work the most effectively with the most focus so we can be more efficient and get more done in less time? Great question. What you're gonna do is you're gonna set your alarm. You can either work for 25 minutes straight and then take a 5-minute break for your 30-minute ultradian rhythm. You can work in 50 minutes straight and take a 10-minute break for our 60-minute ultradian rhythm, or you can work for, 1 hour and 15 minutes and take a 15-minute break if you're working in the 90-minute ultradian rhythm. So during these breaks, what you should and should not be doing. If you're taking a break, you should not be going back onto Instagram or something that's gonna blow your friggin' brain up like that. No, this is not time to go back into something else and have your transition time get stolen, because you're gonna maybe have to obey that 15 to 20 minute, maybe as low as 10 minutes for some of us, transition time. If you're going back to that task again, you shouldn't be doing that. You gotta make sure you're doing something like just getting up, going to the bathroom, going to the water cooler, doing the exercises that we have tons of them in our psychology, fitness, tools tab for you. Any of those exercises are great ones to do because you can do them in under a couple of minutes. Any of those things are gonna allow your brain to unplug from what you're doing, work your association neurons. Remember, we talked about this in another psychology fitness lab episode, to come back on, and you're actually gonna be more focused and more productive and more creative when you go back to that task. So remember, team, ultradian rhythms. 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes. 30 minutes means 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. 60 minutes means 50 minutes on, 10 minutes off. 90-minute ultradian rhythms is 1 hour and 15 minutes on, 15 minutes off. And in those off time, do not go jumping on emails or social media or anything like that. Remember, obey that time block that you set for yourself to get your most done as you can in this certain time period. You're gonna be way more productive. You're gonna get way more done. You're gonna be way more focused. You're gonna have way more efficient, and you're actually gonna have more time in your day because you get more done. Holy friggin' shit, team, is that monumental. Put some prayer hands up for that one. So I can't wait for you guys to try this. So get out there, work with those time blocks, team. Work with those ultradian rhythms. Don't get distracted. Don't multitask, and see how this fundamentally changes the way that you get work done in your day. Well, team, that's it from us at the Psychology Fitness Lab today. I want to thank you for tuning in and listening to these hopefully gems that you guys are going to make your lives better with these high-performing habits. Be sure to hit us in the comments below and let us know how these things are working for you. If you have any QCCs, questions, comments, or concerns about what we talked about today, let us know in the comments. We're doing this for you guys because this is what it's all about, team. We're all about teaching you how to use psychology, fitness to train your brain, your body, and your breath as one, so you can have massive breakthroughs in your health, your wealth, and your relationships and start living that limitless lifestyle that you deserve.